Hey, welcome to the process. My name is Dr. John Bush. This is ADP versus end of the season fantasy points for running backs, part one. Already done the quarterbacks. Check those lessons out. This is the running backs. We're continuing. Don't know how many lessons in here, but I will try to be as jaunty and keep them close to about 20 minutes as possible. This is the kind of the overall data. I'm actually doing deeper research right now, but for this block, I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights of the research. And again, the concept with this whole material is kind of the pre-season versus the end of season. That's when we're drafting, we're looking at what the public is saying, right? And there's this idea that many in your league are kind of going to be going towards the ADP. I understand if you're in a professional, millionaire league, then probably not. But the ADP is there for a reason, and it gives us so-called wisdom of the crowd concept. And I play an FFPC in best ball leagues right now, and pretty much when you sign up, you get to see what the common thinking is to the point when you start drafting. And I think the idea is, you need to beat, the public to have a shot at winning the league. At least that's the concept. Just kind of beat the public. And so that's why ADP is always going to be critical. I've got a whole philosophy of I wish we had an opportunity to get ADP made by more expert types, more people who spend hours of research. But the way everything's chopped up now, every site has its own group, and I know Fantasy Pros is supposedly grabbing that, but I don't think they represent the complete landscape. They select various people. Look, they're there to make money and get clicks and advertising, right? They're not there to make a better ADP. That's just a process that they hope happens, but come on. Again, we don't have experts in the sense we don't have a society, scientific data analysis, fantasy, bioinformatics, or informatics group that would handle this kind of thing. We don't have a journal. We don't have meetings. We don't have peer review. None of that occurs. Okay. So until we as a group develop that, the process will kind of slowly go to whatever it's going to go. But that's where we should go. I would vote for that as a microbiologist. That's how science progresses, but I'm not sure we will ever see that. It's better to slice and dice, and each little turf sets up their own shingle, and you just get a part of the puzzle there. So the best we can do, I guess, is the ADP. But I know there's more and better things that could happen, and maybe there is out there in cartoony land, but those people are not showing their hand. I know there's a lot of money in daily fantasy sports and gambling, so I don't blame them. I would keep secret stuff too, and no offense, but I got my own secret stuff, and I understand that. So nobody's showing all their cards, folks. If you think that's the case, you're wrong. Everybody's showing what they're comfortable showing. They're not showing the secret stuff. Okay? And that's just the way it is. So anyway, this is part one. Let's continue and start looking at before and after the season. Just kind of see what's going on. And we'll start with our world famous box and whisker. This is 2015 to 2022 end of season fantasy points versus their preseason positional ADP 1 to 60th. So the top 60 RBs predicted by the public ADP versus the end of the season fantasy. And what I did was I scaled that to the best over the 8 years. That's at 100%. So every mark, every data is a percentage of that 100%. And then I average that together and give you that population of 1 to 60th. And you can see the population here. And if you look again, the box and whisker, 66% of the population is represented in the box. And the whiskers, that's the top, what is that, 15%, 16, 17%, and the bottom 17, right? It's got to add to 100. So this is the upper rare top of the top there. And you can see, for instance, if we follow that, and this is 2015 to 2022, we see that, what is this? Is this 2018? 2017, 20, 21, 22. The top of the top has hit close to 100%. So we've had some 4 good years, and notice we've had some not so good years. Look at that, around 80%. So 3 years of the is this 8 here? Is this 7? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 5. No, it's 8. So 5 of the 8 are pretty damn good in the 90s. 3 of the 8 were below average. So right away there is variation. It is not a given that things are going to work out in your draft. You just got to be aware of that. There are landmines and things. Running backs, by their nature, there's injuries, etc., etc. We overestimate some things. We underestimate something. That's why I do this, to kind of get a feel for that variation, that truth, i.e. in quotes, what can I believe here? What do I need to research, right? This is not for me to, just be a robot and take the data at face value. But again, reference class forecasting, read that lesson, allows us to at least start at a foundation to understand the data in its landscape context. And you've got to do that. And again, you're saying, well, I've never heard that before. Well, you've heard it if you listen to me. And again, I don't know why you're paying for stuff if your site's not taking care of you like this. They're just basically, you're just red meat for the wolves. And by the way, the wolves do appreciate it. We will enjoy taking your money. And so that's all I got to say. Be careful who you trust, the so-called experts here, because I'm skeptical of the so-called experts. Any fool with a video can flap their chops, and that don't cut it with me. Okay, so we see the top. Here's the box, and some years very broad. Look at 2016. Look at the variation. Wow, that was a strange, sad year, right? So that was not a good year. We see about 2019 or so, we kind of upped that to the next level. Looks like about, 55%, somewhere in there, maybe. A little bit higher. 2022 wasn't so bad with running backs. It wasn't better, it wasn't worse, it was kind of like the year before. The COVID year struck down, look at that, that's COVID. It should have been probably up in here, COVID knocked it down to there. So you can look at stuff like that. When you see something, you say, why did that happen? Well, we happen to know 2020, that COVID and all those protocol canceled games and all that flammery going on there. And so there it is. So I take a look at the top 12 here and just show you the concept of the percentile. And how you read this is in 2015, the first ADP running back returned 69% of the 8-year value. The next year, 3%. The next year, 3%. Sad years. 97, that's great. 64, 24, 34, 40. Okay, that's Jonathan Taylor there. So take a look. Only 3 years did you get 60% value. Who's the top one this year? Is it Christian McCaffrey? I just want to let you know. You're thinking, oh, that's a slam dunk. Is it a slam dunk? Look at the second one. Much better, right? Much better. Third, fourth. So you see right away, look at 2022. Other than the top, didn't do too bad. Pretty much the top 12 returned at least 50% value of the 8-year best there. So that's not bad. This was Eckler, third right there. So you didn't do too bad. Of course, if you drafted 5, 6, or 7, 8, 9, 10, you didn't do too good. You got lucky at 11 and 12. So there was some variation there, but the extreme, the best of the best were the number 2 and 3 last year. Look at the year before. The best was 8 and 9 last year. 2020, the best was 4 and 5 and 6. So it is not a given the public is able to predict greatly. It is just a trend and a tendency. You've got to pick. Do I pick the 100%? We hope. Or do I get the 49%? Not good. And so when I look at the top 12, which is supposedly the prediction of RB1s, right? The overall RB1s, not team RB1s. This is the box and whisker. Look at 2015. That was the year zero running back came into fruition here. And the reason, take a look at the devastation. The best was 69, 56, 61. Look at the devastation. I actually made a boatload of money in 2015. I played right in. My zero RB leagues crushed, and I grabbed fistfuls of cash that year. Wished that year would come back, but what that meant was a lot of injuries. So you don't want injuries, but it was, look how great that was. 2016, better. 2017, pretty good. 18. So notice the zero RB 2015 hasn't showed up again. So people like that, but that was so dramatic. I think that put that idea into people's head that that was the way to go. It is a strategy, and if your diary, check that lesson out, says you're good, okay, go for it. But it's not 2015, folks. Okay, if you're hoping for 2015, that was probably an anomaly. And one say, well, I should have 2 or 3 leagues, extreme zero RB. I understand. We're gambling, and you could gamble that. There's no problem doing that at all from my point of view. Let me move this down. Can I move this down? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here's the box and whisker, the top 12, 2015. Look at 2016. you kind of got some of it back, but boy, even worse. 2017 is closer to what we thought we were going to get. Look at 2018. You talking about the opposite of 2015. Look at that scale there. 2018 crushed it. 2019, 20, COVID had a lot of variation there, folks. 21, 22. So I believe these years represent kind of the expectation of 2023. So I would not hope for this. I don't think you'll get that. 2018. Most likely you'll get like these years here. Don't think you'll see COVID. So you'll probably get, this is 5 out of the 8. That's probably what you'll get. So your research and your picks and your drafting should be done according to what that's telling you. Hate allergies. 12 to 24 RB2s overall. And by the way, green is the top 30th percent over the 8 years. Red, bottom. So any red is not good. Green is pretty good. So right away, if you look in this next crew, it's not a plethora of green, folks. It's not just, oh, I can do 0 RB and collect. Look at 2015, the best of the best, you were getting 4. 2016, you got 1. 2017, 2. 2018, 3. 2019, 5. 2020, 3. 2021, 4. 2022, 4. So probably somewhere around 3, 4 in this group. So you can probably bank on 3 or 4 returning 50% value or better. Okay. So just what is your expectation? I don't think people realize as they're moving into these rounds and drafts exactly what they're expecting they should get. It's kind of like, oh, I'm going to get the number 1 here. You're not getting the number 1 here. Okay, come on. This is what it looks like as well. 2015. Oh, that's that. Sorry. Here it is. So pretty steady. Notice lots of variation. The top 12, a lot more steady. Okay, so I think that 13 to 24 will be a lot less variation in what we're getting at the end of the season. So you need to understand a lot of variation could happen here. You expect less there. Okay? If there's less variation, then that means, they're all closer to each other. They're a little bit more compact here. Look at the length of the boxes versus these boxes are a lot shorter. So they're more compact here. So when you're moving from one to the other tiers, but you could call these tiers, you should expect differences in the variation, differences in what you expect to get. Your expectations should be modified as you move through the draft, and you should be doing research. Yeah, we all want to grab the 87th guy 20th. Yeah, what a bar. Let's see where's 87 occurred or anything. This year 13th got 77. Notice in 79, 22. Those are 84, 15. What, 4 out of what? 12 times what, 8? What is that? 12 times 8. What is that? 90. So basically 100. So 5%. So 4 or 5% of the time, okay, somebody got lucky. And remember, we exaggerate, the rare event. Oh, I caught that 12-pound fish. Well, how many other, the other 99, they were a pound. Oh, I'm not going to tell you about them. Folks, you've got to be honest with yourself. That's why you keep a diary. If you think you're going to grab one of the 5% all the time, you're losing money. Just having that view loses you money, and you're over optimistic, and you're going to get slapped down. Okay? I know you shouldn't be a pessimist. I got it. A realist. But if you walk in thinking I'm the hottest thing ever and I'm going to pick the top, most likely you're not. You're going to under-research, and you need to put it in your diary and show just kind of where I predict at best if you're grabbing a 50% play guy in your diary. That's damn good. Okay? That's good. Okay, so you need to be pretty cognizant of that. Okay, did a lot of chin wagging, gun flapping here. It's 21 minutes. I'm going to stop here, and we will continue rolling down the lesson here. But I hope you've got the idea of how somebody who is a scientist, got my PhD, where's all the PhDs on the website that you're paying for their stuff? Come on. I got it at the gumball machine. Paid my dues, published my papers, got my grants, graduated my students. Come on, folks. ESPN, I'm waiting. Give me a call. Put me on your payroll. I'll take y'all's data up to the new level. And I'm not even good at that. I don't have a PhD in data analysis. I just got scientific common sense. Come on. Anyway, see you next lesson here. Woo woo. Having fun.